One thing we found really helpful at Otsego High School for our caseload kids, IEP 504, even our at-risk kids, it's very beneficial for us to be in the classrooms, the gen ed classrooms, collaborating alongside the gen ed teachers. What is very specific and what you need to understand is we are not the content masters, so we didn't do a true co-teaching model where we're collaborating or writing lesson plans with the gen ed teachers. Basically what our role is to get with the gen ed teachers beforehand, let them know what the needs are of the kids that are going to be on their rosters for each class period, and then we push in and we essentially support the content that is being taught. We help differentiate instruction. We do small group pull-out for testing sessions, whether tests need to be read aloud or makeup testing, anything like that. We also spent a lot of time with gen ed staff helping grade the assessments or anything really homework for our caseload kids so we can make sure that they're meeting mastery targets as well. But please understand that it's so important and beneficial for us to be in that classroom so we also know what's happening. So when they come to us for like an academic support class or need some remedial instruction, we are aware of what's taking place in the gen ed classrooms.
Having a co-teacher is very helpful because sometimes one teacher will explain it differently and the other one might explain it another way, and it's nice to have two perspectives, and it's nice that you could go with one teacher to take a test to get it explained more, but if you don't feel like you have to, you can stay there as well. And I would really recommend having more co-teachers because they're really helpful.
Co-teaching is extremely important at the high school level. It helps kids stay in the classroom, in the general ed classroom more often than not. It helps more special ed kids graduate, and it also helps with more one-on-one interactions between teachers and students because there is that second teacher in the classroom as well.
Because of some co-teachers, if I didn't have their help or the resources that the school provided for me, I probably wouldn't be able to pass a lot of the classes that I did, like some math classes, because I'm not like super crazy good at math. Yeah, since they helped me get through some of those classes, I can now play football, and yeah. One tip that I would say for the co-teachers that are new to it, probably be patient with some students. Everybody learns differently. Some people might be good at some things and others might be better at others, but
As far as a co-teaching model as a special ed teacher in that gen ed environment, it's important for the gen ed teachers to know that we're not a parapro. We're not there to run copies, do classroom like stuff like that, if you will. Although I have done that in the past and I'm always happy and willing to help, but understand that our responsibility is to focus on the kids on caseload inside those classrooms and be a helpful tool for the gen ed teachers as they may have 10 to 12 special ed kids on their rosters for a given class period.
It's important to co-teach not only for students with IEPs and 504s, but also students in the general education setting, because it helps us take a look at students that might be struggling for different reasons, whether it's absences or maybe an unidentified disability. It also allows students with 504s and IEPs to have access to the same curriculum that their peers have. Without this, they might be behind their peers or not understand how to work with different kinds of teachers.
All right, so pet peeves with co-teaching. I think the biggest thing is getting on the same page. So finding time to meet ahead of the kids being in the space together with you is really important. And I think one of the things that's most frustrating is those little like routines and expectations. So things like using the bathroom. When you have 2 adults in the room, you really want to work out the kinks with how you want kids to transition around the room and move in and out of the classroom, because kids are really savvy, and it's the same phenomena like if mom says no, ask dad. So that can happen with your co-teacher as well. And so I think when in doubt, talk it out. It's just really, the communication piece is really important. And then just keeping in mind that whatever you're doing in the classroom is modeled behavior for the kids. So things like being on your cell phone, checking your email, those disengaged pieces are really evident, and I think those can be really frustrating if you have a co-teacher that you haven't kind of walked through those pieces with. But again, communication is the best way to alleviate or avoid any of those kind of frustrating things.
Another tip, especially if you're new, is probably get to know each student, because everybody's different. Some people might not like that they have even a co-teacher, and they might be embarrassed. So just be aware of how they feel about the things that are happening.
Okay, so advice for a general education teacher who's never had a co-teacher before. I think the biggest thing is that it's okay to know that your teaching styles are different. So you don't have to be a replica of the other person coming into your room. In fact, it's better often if you are very different, because kids then can see and learn from different styles and different teaching methods. And so you just don't have to be a carbon copy of each other. You have to find ways to work well together, but sometimes modeling conflict for students is important too. One of the things that I think is a huge benefit of having another person in the room is that you can use the bathroom whenever you want to, and it's kind of awesome to have another adult that you can bounce ideas off of. You can collaborate with grading and see, like, are you on the same page? So those types of things that are just kind of like, we get opportunities sometimes in our department or with our teams, but to have someone in your own classroom that can do that calibrating with you is really awesome too.